Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. This is the word of the Lord.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm going to start down here today. If today is your first Sunday with us, we are working through what's called the book of Ephesians, the New Testament letter of Paul to the church at Ephesus. It's called the book of Ephesians. Really, it's an open letter written to the church, written to the whole church. To be read to the church, possibly on a Sunday morning, since the Lord's Day was valued by the early church as a unique day to worship, right? So imagine this with me on a Sunday morning. It's kind of cool to do this. On a Sunday morning, 2,000 years ago, letter was written about AD 62, so 2,000 years ago, in Ephesus, there was a gathering. And they read this. I cannot believe you guys are here. I just realized Carter and Cassie are here. What's up? Welcome. Is this your first Sunday? Oh, my word. That's crazy. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just not used to seeing that mustache from here. So glad you guys are back. All right. I have no idea where I was. I'm kind of having a Father's Day moment. Got Colby and Carter in my head now. Okay, let me just start that part again. So imagine 2,000 years ago, the church is gathered, and they're hearing for the first time this letter that Paul wrote to them. And his friend, his ministry partner, his name is in verse 21. Look at chapter 6, verse 21, and see if you could say the name of the guy who brought the letter to the church at Ephesus. Let me get a few of you to try to say that out loud. Kids, help me out here. How do you say verse 21? What's his name? The guy who brought the letter to Paul. Tychicus. Okay, Tychicus or Tychicus. Let's say Tychicus together. Ready? Tychicus. Could we just call him Ty? You just want to call him Ty? We're going to call him Ty. Okay. Ty is his beloved brother, his faithful minister. Look what verse 21 says. Beloved brother, faithful minister. He's going to courier the letter to the Apostle Paul. And Paul's going to read it. Now, here's what I want you to see. I want you to see that when Paul wrote this letter, he expected children to be present in the gathering of the church. Paul's expecting Ty to deliver a letter to be read to the whole church, and the children are in the church and are going to hear the letter read to them. Because in chapter 5, verse 22, he said wives, and he addressed them. Chapter 5, verse 25, or 33 rather, 25, he addresses husbands. Now in chapter 6, verse 1, he says children. He speaks directly to the children. Now this would be uncommon in the ancient world. Typically, the older people did not directly address children, not outside of their parents. So you kind of expect Paul to address the children through their parents, but he doesn't. He speaks directly to the children. So I want to do that today. I want us to speak directly to our children. But to do that, I want you to know, first of all, who's with you in the building in this gathering. So we're going to do something a little different. If my microphone people can get in place, and Tim's up here, and Chuck and Cora, and so if you are kindergarten, I want you to stand up and say your name. Can you stand up and say your name? If you're kindergarten through 5th grade, it's going to take a second, but we're going to do it. We're going to address the children in our church.
All right, everybody stand up. All of our kids.
Kindergarten through 5th grade. If you completed kindergarten,
all right.
If you completed kindergarten, just stand up. Just stay right where you are. All right, just stand up. We're going to say your name.
We're going to start over here. Okay. Say your name loud and proud and how old you are. How about that?
My name is Timothy, and I am 10.
Timothy and 10. All right.
We got a whole slew right here we got to get to.
We're going to go down the line, all right?
I'm Luke, and I'm 6.
Awesome.
I'm Caroline, and I am 8.
Great.
I'm Jack, and I'm 7.
My name is Hudson, and I'm 10.
Solid row right here.
Okay, go ahead.
And what is your name, young miss?
My name's Fiona, and I'm 9.
9. All right.
I'm Sonia, and I'm 7.
All right.
I'm Lord, I'm 7.
Nice.
Who else?
Oh,
Oh, right here.
there we go. What's your name?
My name's Zeke, and I'm 6.
I am Josiah, and I'm 10.
I'm Annalie, and I'm 7.
We've got more. We've got more. We're coming somewhere back here. If you're new and you don't want to do this, that is totally okay. You're freaking out right now. You don't have to do it. We got the balcony. We're going to go to the balcony.
And I'm 7.
Can we do it one more time? I couldn't hear that.
My name's Ivana, and I'm 10.
Nice.
My name is Sharon, and I'm 7.
Thank you. Emery's passing? These are rising 6th graders. If you're a rising 6th grader, you're allowed to do this. Oh, Dad's pointing to her. Yeah, she loves that. If you're a rising 6th grader, you're still in the club. Here comes one.
I am Lily, and I'm 3. I'm 4 years old.
All right, Lily.
My name is Stevie, and I'm 11 years old.
Yes.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 9 years old.
And we're coming all the way over here. We got like 4 or 5 over here.
I'm Stephen, and I'm 10.
All right, Stephen.
My name is Kennedy, and I am 6.
My name's Lydia, and I'm 11.
Excellent. And then,
We got a Jordan here. And Jordan, how old are you? 10? We got a Janelle here. And Janelle, how old are you? And 8? She's 8.
Jordan and Janelle, welcome.
My name is Emery, and I'm 11 years old.
Emery, I'm so glad you did that. I today would not have felt. Look, you guys see our little monkey up here? He's kind of shy, right? He's hiding behind you see him shy? He's a shy monkey. Look, we don't want you to not be welcome here. We want you to feel like, so first of all, thank you for doing that. I know that was hard to do for some of you. This is your church. Listen, hear this. Children. Sammy, are you with me? Listen to this. This is your church. This is your church. This is Viv, this is your church. Okay? This is your church. Did we hear from Felix? Did we get Felix's name? Wait, Felix, you didn't say your name.
So did Mary.
You're in what? Oh. Totally. I'm just leaving. I'm just gonna leave. Felix, I don't even know what to do. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I even wrote your name down in my notes. He'll forgive me for that. He will forgive me for that. He's a good kid. So what I want you to hear, no matter what age you are or what grade you're in, that this is not just an adult church. And sometimes church can feel like it's just an adult church. And it's not just an adult church. It's a church that is for children and students and families. And so I want to talk to the kids today, and I hope the rest of us will listen well, because the message is not just for kids, but it is directed toward our children. So if you, I'm still having a hard time getting over that moment, but I'm good. I'm going to move forward. We're moving forward together. All right. 3 things, kids. Are you ready? Children, students, families, and all of us. Obey, honor, and live. Say that with me. Obey, honor, and live. One more time. Obey, honor, and live. Obey your parents. Honor your father and mother, and you will live well and wisely for the rest of your life. You obey your parents, you honor your father and mother, and with that comes a promise that you will live well and life will be good. Let me walk you through those. Number 1, obey your parents. This is in chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord. What does it mean to obey someone? To obey a coach, to obey a teacher? What does it mean to obey someone? It means to follow someone's instruction or guidance or a command. To follow someone's instruction or guidance or command. Coaches and teachers, it's easy to obey them most of the time, but parents, what about parents? That gets harder. It's harder to obey parents. When your parents ask you to do something or tell you to do something, what should you do? You should obey them. Exactly, Sammy got it. What should you do? When your parents ask you to do something, you should obey them. But what if you don't want to do it? Has that ever happened to you? Like, have your parents ever asked you to do something and you don't want to do it? What if you don't want to do it? You should probably do it anyway, right? Now, here's the more important question. Why would you obey your parents? I want the kids to help me on this. When your parents ask you to obey them, what do they normally say? Why should you obey them? Yes, ma'am. Oh, you should obey them because they're trying to keep you safe or help you. That is not what I expected. But that's so good. What's the most common answer for why you should obey your parents when they say something to you? Because, say it with me, because I said so. Yeah, that's why you should obey your parents, because I said so. Yeah, wait, what? So you got a little sass in there? There's a little sass on the front row. Why should you obey your parents? Because I said so. And there's truth in that. You should obey your parents because they said so. That's the first part of the answer. Are you with me here? That's the first part of the answer. But Ephesians 6:1 talks about a second, more important part of the answer as to why you should obey your parents. See if you can find it, guys. Where is it in chapter 6, verse 1? Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Do you see that? Do you see that expression? Obey your parents in the Lord. In the Lord, obey your parents in the Lord here in Ephesians is not a reference to your parents' relationship to the Lord. It's a reference to your relationship to the Lord as a child. It's a reference to you and your relationship to the Lord. In the Lord refers to your relationship with God. So let me ask you like this. Do you believe in God? Kids, I'm talking to kids right now. If you're one of the kids that said your name or didn't say your name, no matter what grade you're in, you know what, let's do this. Everybody under 12th grade, okay? You're still at home. You're on the payroll. If you're on the payroll, please listen, okay? Children, students, anybody on the payroll, do you believe in God? That's the question you need to answer today. That's probably the most important question about Ephesians 6 and verse 1 when it comes to obeying your parents. Do you believe in God? Because if you believe in God, listen to this. This is mind-blowing, but it's going to help you. If you believe in God, each time you obey your parents, you're telling yourself there's someone bigger and more important than even my parents. Each time you obey your parents, you're telling yourself, I believe in someone who's more important and more sovereign and more loving and more good even than my own parents. Now that's mind-blowing, but it's the truth of the gospel. Obey your parents as unto the Lord, as if your relationship with God depended on your obedience, because you're training yourself not just to obey your parents. What are you doing? You're training yourself to obey the Lord. When we were raising our kids, Mrs. Shem was really good at this. I've been carrying my rag around this morning. Some of you have been wondering, what's this rag about? Okay. Did he forget that he's got a rag in his pocket? Little illustration I'm going to throw on the screen. Mrs. Shem was really good at this. She taught our children how to obey in the dailies when it comes to chores and when it came to family life. And we would train our children with what you might call the rag of obedience, because usually we're talking about chores, right? So if mom asks you to do something, if your mom asks you to do something, to take out the trash, to make your bed, to put your dishes away, to throw some clothes in the laundry, whatever your parents ask you to do, should you pray about it? No, what should you do? You should do it right away, all the way, and gladly. That's a good habit. When your parents ask you to do something, don't say to them, okay, I'll do that in a few minutes. I'll do that in about 15 minutes. I'll get back to that. Why? Because you probably won't come back to it, right? But when your parents ask you to do something, if you learn to do it right away and all the way, if you can invoke the rag rule, I'm going to do it right away, I'm going to do it all the way, I'm going to do it gladly. Hudson and Jack, will you sweep the kitchen floor? I'm going to do it right away. I'm going to do it all the way. Daniel, will you take out the trash? Sure. Yeah, I'm going to do it right away. I'm going to do it all the way. Now, here's the key. Gladly. Why is it so hard to obey someone else gladly? Because of what's going on in here. I don't want to do what you want me to do. Like, that's at the heart of submitting yourself to your parents, is how you start to discover submission to who? To the Lord, to God Himself. It could come through simple chores. It could come through the simple training of obedience to your parents, doing something right away, all the way, and gladly. You could translate verse 1 like this. One translation reads this way: obey your parents because you belong to the Lord. Obey your parents because you belong to the Lord. My obedience is a way to honor God Himself. When your parents, check this out, when your parents see you obey them because you're honoring God, guess what it does to them? It engenders faith in them. It strengthens their faith. You create a household where faith is stronger and growing, and the gladness of right away, all the way, and gladly becomes part of your family life. I belong to the Lord. I'm not my own. I belong to the Lord. I'm not my own. I will honor Him, for this I know, I belong to the Lord. I'm not my own. If I'm not my own, then I can obey more freely. When someone asks me, especially if one of my parents asks me to do something. So, the first thing is obey your parents. Chapter 6, verse 1. Remember, let's just imagine Ty is reading the letter. Paul sent him with this letter. the letter leaves Rome, it goes to Ephesus, the church is gathered, the church is hearing the letter. Children in the church are hearing this. They heard wives do this, husbands do this. Now they hear children obey your parents. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Secondly, here's what they hear. Honor your father and mother. Honor your father and mother. For children to obey their parents was really not Paul's idea. Where does this come from? Honor your father and mother. Somebody help me out here. Where's honor your father and mother? 10 Commandments. Yes, 10 Commandments. So Paul's not making this up. Paul's tying the New Testament letter of instruction to the commandments in the Old Testament. Which commandment is this of the 10? Anybody? Fifth commandment. Everybody got that? Fifth commandment, honor your father and mother. The fifth commandment. The Bible will often, here's what's interesting, and this is a little bit of a conundrum, and I want you to think this through. The Bible often uses the words honor and reverence and fear to describe how we should relate to God, right? We should honor and reverence and fear the Lord, right? So wait a minute. We're also supposed to honor our parents? How come the same word is being used here? I mean, God is worthy of worship, glory, and honor. We bow before God in humility and praise. We exalt God, we worship God, but we would never view another person in this world, no matter how old or young, we would never view another person as worthy of that same worship and honor and glory. We would never do that. If you worship another person, that's a violation of the first, second, and fifth commandment. And yet the Bible uses the same words for us to show honor and respect to parents. Let me throw this on the screen. Proverbs 17:6. Children, grandchildren are the crown of the aged. Now there's some grandparents in here. Can I get a witness? Grandchildren are the crown of the aged. If you're a grandparent, you understand what that means. I don't even have to explain it. You feel the goodness of God in creation through your grandchildren. And then the second part of this proverb says, and the glory of children is their fathers or parents. You can translate it either way in this case. ESV has fathers, NIV has parents. It's a good translation either way. Children are the glory of their parents. Now, how could that be the case? Since this cannot mean that we worship our parents and we should never worship another parent, it must mean there's a really tight connection between honoring the God that we cannot see and honoring our parents who we can see. There must be a tight relationship, not just one of training, but also one of meaning and life. Like, there's a God-given purpose to honoring your father and mother. God so values family life. Listen to this. God so values family life that he endows it with blessing and honor and glory, if only an earthly shadow of the blessing and honor and glory of God himself. Have you asked yourself, and as you're growing up, you might ask yourself this question. Again, this is, and you know what? I'll put this one on teenagers primarily to teenagers. Teenager, have you ever asked yourself this question? Why am I so resistant to authority when I know that authority, like intellectually, I know that authority is for me, not against me. I know they want to care for me. I know they want what's good for me. And yet there's a resistance. Like, if you ask yourself this question, why is there such a resistance in my heart toward authority? Why am I resisting the goodness of family life? over the years, Vicki and I, as we've been trying to shepherd the hearts of our children, we would ask this question. And you might, if you're a parent, you might hang on to this one. What is it that you think I'm withholding from you right now? What is it that you think I'm keeping you from right now? Well, I just want to go do this, right? I just want this, I just want that. As a teenager, listen, as a teenager, as a young adult, any age, maybe some of you would say, I'll sign this. Why is there such a sustained resistance toward authority? It might even be toward pastoral authority. It might be towards civic authority. It might be towards any kind of good, God-ordained authority. Like, have you asked yourself that question? Why do I have such resistance to a God-given good authority in my heart? Here's the answer. It's resistance to God himself. We resist God, and we resist his good, ordained authorities in our lives. I mean, we're happy to obey when it's going like we want it to. We're happy to get on board if the train is going where we want it to go. But when that rub comes, when that friction comes, when that directional change comes, we have such a resistance. And we've really not trained ourselves into obedience to the Lord. Here's the third thing. If you will, okay, I'm back to kids proper now. Guys, if you're kindergarten through sixth grade, rising kindergarten through rising sixth grade, I'm talking to you again now, okay? Listen up. Are you with me? So, why should I obey? I tried to give you some reasons for that. Why should I honor my father and mother? I tried to give you some reasons for that. Let me just get really practical, okay? You should obey your parents. Are you listening? Because it's good for you. For you to obey is good for you. Like, you will live better. You will live a better life. Your life will be better if you choose to train yourself into obedience. Look at verses 2 and 3. Honor your father and mother. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verses 2 and 3. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise. This is not, Paul doesn't want you to hear a threat. Take threat. Sidebar, parents, start taking threats out of your parenting. Stop threatening your children. If you don't, 1, 2, I saw somebody do this the other day. Oh, she's about to get to 3. 3. Like, that's, we don't want to parent that way. Take threats out of your parenting. And we want to parent according to promise. That's what Paul's doing. The gospel is according to promise, not threat. Why? Because the threat of judgment has been answered on the cross. The threat of God's judgment has been answered on the cross. So I no longer go around as a father threatening my children. The threat of judgment is no longer like Jesus. So what I want to do is help my children discover the promise of God's grace, not the threat of judgment. And there's a difference. So back to children, the Apostle Paul is not threatening you, he's promising you something. He's saying, obey your parents, honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise that it might go well with you and that you would live long in the land, that your well-being is at stake. Brief explanation of verse 3. Paul, like Jesus, still sees the 10 Commandments in play for the New Testament church. He sees the 10 Commandments still in play for God's people in the new covenant. So the original promised land is no longer in view. But the same value for of family life is in view, okay? So the promise to children in Exodus was not so much a promise to each individual child to prosperity and well-being. That was really not the right way to read it to begin with. It's really about the well-being of the covenant community, the whole of God's people. So the way the promise of verse 3 functions is more like a proverb for the strength and health of family life. If you want to grow up and live in a strong, healthy family or community, live like this. That's what he's saying. In the Old Covenant and the New Covenant, right, there's continuity here in the Scriptures. In the Old Covenant and the New Covenant, the strength of family life and the training of children in habits of order and obedience is absolutely essential. You will not have a strong community. You will not have a strong family. You will not have a strong nation if there's not an order of training and obedience by loving, godly parents to the end that children would not just obey them, but they would discover something bigger outside of themselves. They'd discover how to obey God, and that would influence a community and a family and a nation. This promise is not going to protect you from getting a disease. This promise is not going to protect you from not going through some hard financial times. That's not what Paul's talking about. The promise to live well through honoring your father and mother is about something bigger and more beautiful. So that when you are in financial ruin, it's that faith community that steps in right there next, like they step in and say, hey, we're going to help you. Or when you are in the waiting room and you get the diagnosis on my chart faster than you thought, and your world starts to crumble, you have a people. Like in the end, like just ask anybody over 60, it's about the people who are still around you, who care about you. It's not about all the money. It's not all about all the success. It's not all about all the drivenness. If you want to live wisely and live well, you should honor your father and mother. It's the first commandment with a promise unto new life, a promise unto community, a promise unto stability. Which reminds me, by the way, I don't think I've said this yet, you should honor your father and mother for your whole life. You might not obey them anymore because you don't live in their house. But you always continue to honor your father and mother. It's a lifelong calling. The fifth commandment is not just for children at home. Tim Keller, along these lines, said something really helpful. I want to pass it on to you. There's only one thing you should do for all kinds of parents. No matter who they are, no matter how messed up their lives were, no matter how messed up your life is in your mind because of them. There's only one thing you should do for all kinds of parents, no matter what they're like or how old you are. Honor and respect them. Don't despise them or curse or mock them, but bless them. Find a way to bless your parents, no matter how good or bad your upbringing was. Find a way to bless your parents. He says, this is what your conscience needs, it's what the heart needs, and it's what society needs. Find ways to show them respect at the holidays with phone calls or even on social media. Let them change if they're trying. Don't stereotype them. You know, there's a sidebar. There's a huge stereotype thing going on between the older generation and the younger generation right now. It's crazy. The older generation's talking about the younger generation, stereotyping them. The younger generation stereotyping the older generation. They're doing this the whole time, just casting judgment on each other. Don't let that happen to you. Forgive them for anything that they've done wrong. When you show them honor, you will bless them. It's how we should treat people of every generation. I want to do something a little different to close today. So the monkey, he was very shy. He was shy, but he started listening. Just crossing the river. Do you want to come down? He's like, yeah, come on now. Don't drop the ladder. All right, he's not shy anymore, so he's going to come sit with me. I want all the kids who said their name into the microphone. We're going to pray for you guys. Come on down here. Can you sit with me, Sammy? Come on down here. We're going to all sit right here. We're going to pray. So we're going to close the service by praying for you. If you're in the balcony and you want to come down, please come. We're going to pray for you. If you said your name in the microphone, come down. You don't have to come down, but the shy monkey's coming down. So he wants you to, it's like, come sit with me. Like, come down here. We're going to pray for you. Come sit with me. All right, they're coming from the balcony. All right. Okay, we're going to pray. So here's the part. Who wants to hold the monkey? You got it. Caroline's got the monkey. All right. So here's the thing. This is not where please don't start checking your phone. We want you to pray for the children of this church. Will you pray with us? And here's how we're going to do it. We got more coming. We got a couple more coming. All right. We're going to pray for these kids because we want more than anything. Can you guys look up at me for just a second? Look up at me. We want more than anything for your heart to be turned toward the Lord, for you to know God and love Him and walk with Him for the rest of your life, okay? So we're going to pray that for you guys. We're going to pray that right now. I'm going to start the prayer, but the way that the church is going to pray is that they're going to sing, come on in here. Come on in here. All right, guys, jump up here. You got room. Let them come through, guys. Excellent. Oh, the balcony made it. Yes. We're going to pray for you. I'm going to start the prayer. The church is going to sing a prayer, and that prayer will be over you, and then we're going to close the service, okay? So I'm going to start our prayer, and then the church is going to sing, and you join us as we sing and pray over our children. Oh, Lord, many years ago, you gave parents new life. And that new life has grown into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old beautiful children. Would you turn their hearts to you? Bring them to yourself. Help them to believe the gospel. Help them to know who you are. We want to belong to you above all else. We thank you for faithful parents today. And we pray that you would bless these children as we sing and pray over them. We pray these things in Christ's name.